The reason you feel exhausted by lunchtime isn't the work itself. It's the constant, chaotic switching between different kinds of tasks. We're going to expose the invisible 40% tax you pay every time you switch. And I'm going to give you the exact framework that groups your work to multiply your output by 10 times. Okay, let's just really let that sink in, because that feeling, it's not a personal failure. It is absolutely a systemic one. And in this explainer, we're going to expose the invisible cost of all that task switching. We'll diagnose the root cause of that midday brain fog, and then, more importantly, give you the exact actionable framework to beat it. This isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter by getting rid of the friction that just kills your mental fuel. So let's put a number on this problem, 40%. And no, that's not some wild guess. It's a scientifically measured drop in cognitive productivity that happens when you're constantly shifting your attention. You really should think of it like a hidden tax on your focus. Every single time you peek at an email while writing a report or answer a quick message while you're deep in thought, boom, you're paying the tax. It's the reason an 8-hour day can feel like you only got 4 hours of real solid work done. Now here's the other side of the coin. This is the incredible upside. When you eliminate that 40% tax, you don't just get back to normal. Oh no, you unlock the potential for a massive exponential leap in your high-quality output. Yeah, we're talking about a 10 terms improvement. And look, this isn't about churning out 10 times more stuff. It's about producing 10 times more of the valuable, high-impact work that actually moves the needle. And this brings us right to the heart of the matter, the core paradox of how we work today. You know, the real problem isn't how many tasks you have, it's our collective addiction to being responsive. We've somehow taught ourselves to believe that reacting instantly to everything is a sign of efficiency. But the science, it shows the exact opposite is true. This constant need to react is precisely what shatters our attention, drains our mental batteries, and keeps us stuck being busy but not truly productive. So, let's put a proper scientific name to this problem. We're going to move from the symptom, that feeling of being wiped out, to the actual diagnosis. The truth is, we are living in an attention residue crisis. This is the invisible enemy that is quietly sabotaging your productivity day in and day out. And understanding it is the absolute first step to beating it. Attention residue. Let's break this down, because it's so important. When you switch from, say, task A to task B, your brain doesn't just make a clean cut. A little piece of your focus, this residue, gets left behind, still stuck on task A. The more you switch, the more of this residue builds up, until your focus is so fragmented you can't give your full attention to anything. That's the switch cost in action. And it's exactly why jumping from a spreadsheet to an email and back again feels so exhausting. And here's what that looks like in the real world. On the left, that's your potential. That's focused, uninterrupted work at 100% capacity. Now, on the right, that's reality for most of us. A day just filled with constant switching. You're only operating at about 60% of what you're capable of. That 40% gap, that's where your best ideas, your deepest insights, and your most valuable work go to die. This is the scientific reason you feel so busy but have so little to show for it at the end of the day. Okay, we've spent enough time diagnosing the problem. Now let's talk about the cure. And I want to be clear, this isn't just a list of tips. This is a formal, rigorous system designed specifically to fight back against the attention residue crisis. We call it the task batching framework. And it's all built on a simple principle called cognitive clustering, which just means grouping similar kinds of thinking together to keep your focus locked in and unbroken. So this framework, it stands on 3 absolutely non-negotiable pillars. First, categorization. You have to group your tasks by the type of brain power they require. Second, fixed time-block allocation. You have to schedule specific, protected chunks of time for each of these task groups. And third, and this one's key, intentional delay. You have to build the discipline to put off any task that tries to jump the line outside of its designated block. Together, these 3 things build a fortress around your focus. Let's zoom in on that first pillar, categorization, because this is the most critical split you have to make. On one side, you have deep work. These are the heavy hitters, tasks that demand intense, unbroken concentration, like building a strategy, writing a complex proposal, or coding. On the other side, you have shallow work. These are the low-focus logistical tasks like clearing your inbox, filing expenses, or answering quick messages. The golden rule of this whole system is simple. Never, ever let the shallow interrupt the deep. This right here makes the whole thing click. On the left, you see the before calendar. It's a total mess, right? A chaotic, reactive nightmare. Notice the constant context switching, email to project to Slack to a meeting. Every single one of those arrows is you paying that 40% tax. Now look at the after calendar. It's structured, it's proactive, it's sane. You've got these big, beautiful, protected blocks for deep work. All the communication is batched into 1 or 2 specific windows. Your brain isn't frantically hopping around, it's allowed to sink deep into one thing at a time. And that's where you find maximum efficiency.
And this is the secret sauce that makes that after calendar actually work. The discipline to intentionally put things off is, without a doubt, the most powerful part of this system. When an email pops up during your deep work block, you don't answer it, you delay it. You wait until your scheduled communication block. That simple act of not reacting is what saves your focus, kills attention residue, and unlocks that incredible potential we've been talking about. So, we've talked about the what and the how. Now, let's get into the really cool part, the why. Why is this framework so ridiculously effective? We're shifting from just strategy to the actual science. We're gonna look under the hood at the mechanisms that task batching uses to literally hack your brain for peak performance. This boils down to 2 huge scientific benefits. First, it saves energy in your prefrontal cortex. That's the CEO of your brain, the part that handles focus and decision-making. Every time you switch tasks, you drain a little bit of its battery. Task batching just stops that drain. Second, it creates the perfect conditions for getting into a flow state. You know, that feeling of being in the zone where you're so immersed that work feels effortless. And when you're in that state, your brain rewards you with performance-enhancing chemicals like dopamine, turning focus into a cycle that actually feels good and reinforces itself. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. We're moving from theory to execution. This isn't just info, it's a protocol. Think of this as the actual prescription you need to follow to cure that attention residue crisis and start getting that 10x output. These are 3 clear, simple, non-negotiable steps you can take today. Here it is, your protocol. Step 1, the task audit. Seriously, take just 10 minutes after watching this. Look at your to-do list and sort every single task into 2 buckets, deep and shallow. Step 2, set the blocks. Open your calendar right now and schedule for tomorrow. Block out 1 90-minute slot in the morning for your most important deep work. Then add 2 30-minute blocks for all your communication. Step 3, practice intentional delay. This is the rule. During that 90-minute deep work block, your email, your Slack, any and all communication apps are closed, off, no exceptions. So when you strip it all down, what's the one habit, the single action that's going to make the biggest difference when you're just starting out? What's the physical act that represents this entire philosophy? Close your tabs. It's really that simple, and also that difficult. Closing your email tab, your Slack app, your news feeds. This is the physical manifestation of practicing intentional delay. It's you telling your brain and the world that for this chunk of time, you are all in on one single thing. This simple habit is the keystone that holds the whole system together. It is the single most powerful way to protect your focus. Okay, let's wrap this up. As we finish, I really want to distill the core idea here, the new truth about productivity that this whole system is built on. This is the mental shift that will let you master what feels like effortless focus. And here it is. This is the fundamental shift in thinking you have to make. True productivity is not an act of addition, it is an act of subtraction. You don't get more effective by cramming more things into your day. You become exponentially more effective by ruthlessly cutting out the unnecessary, switching between them. Your biggest gains will come from strategically grouping your work, not from the sheer volume of your effort. So let's put a bow on this. Task batching is the solution to cognitive fragmentation. It eliminates that crippling 40% switch cost, and what matters is that it provides a clear system for achieving 10x quality output. By categorizing your work and using fixed time blocks, you're hacking your brain to conserve that precious PFC energy and creating the perfect environment for a hyper-productive flow state. Just remember the single most empowering truth we've talked about. Productivity isn't about doing more, it's about mastering systems that make focus effortless. So, are you ready to stop paying the tax? I challenge you right now, schedule just 2 communication blocks for tomorrow. It's time to reclaim your focus.